I have an Asko dishwasher and the lower spray arm is not working. The upper one does work. Figured it was the diverter but just replaced it and I still have the same problem. Any ideas?
Hello. My name is XXXXX I am an authorized Asko service tech and I can help you today. If you still need it, I have just logged on and saw that your questions is still here without an answer. First, I would like to apologize for the delay. Usually this sort of thing doesn't happen. Let's first ask some easy questions so that we can determine the real cause for the error in the lower wash arm not to spin. If the lower wash arm is not currently moving, have you checked the obvious, which would be if there is anything in its way preventing it from not moving? I am assuming that you have done so, but please tell me anyway. You would be surprised how many times I ask this when I get this problem and the customer tells me they just never thought to check that.
Hi John, yes, I checked and am sure the lower arm is free to spin.
So please take 2 seconds to check that nothing is blocking the lower wash arm from spinning. Make sure there is nothing stuck in the cutlery baskets and that the lower rack is not sagging and causing the lower wash arm to get held up on the rack itself. Hello, did not see you had logged on. Thank you for checking. I figured you had checked. Just wanted to make sure. Now you say the controls and options on the keypad say that the lower wash arm is not selected or designated to spin along with the top? Just the top is activated? If so, then that would be the issue. The bottom wash arm needs to be selected in order for it to spin. So if the controls are not functioning properly, then make sure none of the keypads or buttons are stuck. Especially the one for the lower wash arm.
No, the controls say both are on but only the top spins. No matter what I set on the controls, the top always spins, the bottom never spins.
If they are not stuck, I can tell you a trick that helps to free up or unstick the control pad on your model dishwasher. Just let me know when you are ready and I will tell you what to do. And if this trick doesn't work and the controls still don't work properly, then it looks like you will need to replace the main control board in the door. Oh. Excuse me, I thought you mentioned above in your initial description that only the upper wash arm button will activate on the control. My fault.
NP.
If the controls work fine and yet the lower wash arm is still not rotating and you have changed the diverter valve, let's check to make sure you have replaced it with the correct one. What is the part number of the diverter that you replaced?
That will take a few minutes, please hold.
It should have also come with instructions to put a small hole in it as well. This properly diverts the water to and from both arms. So if you have not done the drilling of the hole or didn't have that in the instructions, then you may have replaced the wrong diverter valve for your machine. I will be here. Just get back to me when you have the info. I'll go and check the part number myself. The diverter valve for your model machine should be a part number of NNNNNNNNN. So if you have any other part number, you may have replaced the wrong version of the part. And that could cause the issue.
Part #NNN, NNN diverter valve, water diverter kit, 120 VAC 60 HC. It was the entire diverter assembly, but I only replaced the lower section. It was exactly the same as the part replaced.
Okay. If you had the kit, then you will definitely need to replace the top portion for the diverter. which is called the spray tower and nozzle. And make sure all the O-rings go back on as well, in the exact same place as before. If there is a loose connection or the O-rings fall out of place, the water to the lower or upper wash arm will not be diverted properly and will cause the failure.
I didn't see anything in the tower that could block the water.
Here is a picture just to confirm that we are speaking about the same part. Just click on the image below to view a picture of the diverter kit you installed. Full-size image. And if you didn't replace the top portion, then I would advise taking it all apart again and replacing all of the components to the diverter. And even making the hole in the diverter as well, just like it explains in the included directions. There may not be anything in the top tower that would block it or prevent the water from going to the lower wash arm. But if the O-rings were left out or not installed correctly, the diverter may not swing back and open the water to come through the lower portion. So please check to make sure that the O-rings were installed correctly. I know it is a pain in the neck to do this, but if your machine is not working correctly, it needs to be done. Otherwise your machine will not work right and could cause other issues. If you find the diverter and parts are all okay and you think they are installed correctly and look to be functioning correctly, then you have a bad mainboard. It is not recognizing that you have both upper and lower wash arms selected, even though it shows it in the control board or keypad. This happens sometimes, and is usually due to a board shorting out. And quite honestly, the bad diverter could have shorted the board in the first place. And you can have been hit with two problems. I have seen this many times before. Was the initial problem the lower wash arm not rotating? Or were there other issues as well? If no other issues, these two parts, the diverter and board, are the only parts that will control the water being sent to the lower and upper wash arms. So if you are sure the diverter is good and was installed correctly, but is still not functioning, then replace the board. Just as a side note, please first make sure that the spray pipe, the pipe that goes from the diverter to the upper wash arm, is fully inserted to the diverter. Sometimes if not hooked in correctly, that can cause these issues. I am assuming it is though, since you say the water is getting to the upper wash arm. But please check that as well.
Is there any way I can test the control board? Or even the diverter?
Unfortunately not. We know the diverter is getting power since the upper wash arm is rotating. So we know the control unit is working. And it also tells us the diverter is getting power as well.
This was the original issue. I'll check everything again. I did replace the two small O-rings that sit between the top section and the two vertical pipes.
But your issue here is with water flow. And that can only be checked by going through the diverter and making sure it has the O-rings and were installed correctly.
Is there another O-ring that I should be concerned about? Also, if I go ahead and change the top section, what is that hole for? The directions are very poor and I was very reluctant to start drilling on a new part.
No. That's it. Just those two. And the nut that gets screwed around the whole bottom for the diverter. The hole is for proper water flow and pressure. Since they upgraded the diverter to fit a few models to improve the flow of water to the wash arms to get a better clean, they found that they needed to drill a hole to help aid in water diversion. And that hole will properly divert the water to the lower and upper wash arm with the correct amount of pressure. I know the directions are less than good. But please follow them as best as you can and certainly drill the hole as recommended through the diverter at the appropriate point and size diameter so that the diverter can work properly. And if you need more help doing that or with this machine in general, please feel free to get back to me here and I will try to help you more. And please remember that after drilling the hole and making sure the diverter was properly installed, if it doesn't work still, you may need a new control unit. And that control unit is part number NNN/P.
Okay, I'll give it a shot. Thanks for the help.
And can be ordered from either www.repairclinic.com or www.marconi.com.
Great, thanks.
You are very welcome. That is what I am here for. Please just remember to rate my performance positively below this chat now if you feel that I have helped to answer your questions.
Will do. Thanks.
And if you need more help, even after you rate me, please feel free to come back to me here and I will help you more for no additional charge. Thanks. And please let me know how it works out for you. Have a good day.
Will do. You too.
I know the payment methods for this website can get confusing at times. The only way I can get credit for helping you is if you positively rate my performance now. And again, if you have more questions, please feel free to get back to me here at any time and I will help you more for no additional charge. Thanks again.
If you have a home improvement or appliance question and want to chat with an expert now, visit justanswer.com/YTHI.